Hey guys, hi, how are you? It's Katie back at Lunar Ray Tarot and Wellness. I took yesterday off. I got to go to a church in my local hometown where I had grown up in. I spent some time with friends and family. I got situated into my new location, got my books put away, so I'm really proud of that. And I even got to go see my brother today. So lo and behold, I've had a really darn good weekend, okay guys? So I hope you guys did too. I finally feel like things are finally coming together. And I couldn't be more blessed, okay? So I want to start off kind of by cleansing our space how we normally do. If you hear any sounds, my new space where I live is kind of small, but hey, the simple things in life, I really like the simple things because you don't need a lot to be happy. At least I don't. Not in this crazy world we live in. And the people that I have around me, they may not all be my blood family, but they're my family, and I'm very grateful for them. But I've got my Palo Santo. She's still kind of lit. I have some incense going. I got my cannabis. So, how have we been? How's you guys' weekend been? Oh, I hope that was hey, it was good. But needless to say, I got something cool to talk about today. I went and seen my brother, like I had said this morning, and I was driving through and I was hearing like a Christmas song on the radio. And it got me thinking about Christmas trees and like Yule logs, because I like to have a traditional Yule log. But the cool thing about it is, yes, Christmas tree are spruce, but there's these beautiful juniper trees out there that have these things called juniper berries. And I know you guys have probably seen them, especially here in Oklahoma right now, where you drive and on a country road, you see like these trees and they have these little green berries. Well, those are juniper trees. Those are juniper berries, okay? So as we all know, I love to reference things. So this, if you're not familiar, this is what a juniper berry looks like, okay? I know here in Oklahoma, and I'm sorry if you hear voices out there, I'm shooting, but I live with some folks. So if you hear that, I'm so sorry. But, so this is what a juniper berry looks like, okay? So some of the uses for the tree could be something as simple as, cooking with it, brines, seasoning meat, especially more gamey meat, because of how astringent the flavor of the juniper berries are, okay? And the thing about it is, here in the US, we don't really utilize it, I think, as much as other countries. And the more research that I did, the more that I realized that this is more of like a Eastern European thing, even. So that was kind of interesting. But let's dive in. Let's see what we got. So what I did learn is that there are approximately about 75 different species of the carnivorous evergreen shrub known as a juniper, okay? But it's one of the only spices that's derived from conifers, which is kind of interesting because, we see them, we see different trees, and we see acorns, we see walnuts, we see all kinds of dills, but the only thing that we can really use from, like, I guess the trees is, I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm rambling. But needless to say, we can utilize these darn juniper berries, okay? Okay, so I showed you what it looks like in the book, but this is what it looks like in real life, okay? So, the mature dark berries that I'm about to show you, these are what people, ow, that actually was really hot. Just burned myself with an incense. But these, oh, freaking A. These are what a mature berry looks like, okay? And these are pretty cheap. I think I actually bought these juniper berries from a world market. I love a world market because you have such a different array of not only spices and herbs, but just like, I'm obsessed with Japanese culture. So you got like your Japanese ramen, you have your Japanese sodas. So I love world market. Any whoosies. The mature dark berries apparently are used in cuisines, and they are actually used to flavor gin. But I guess that they, if I read this correctly, because mind you, I channel this stuff, but I still have to research. Now, the trees have berries on them right now. Those are the green ones, okay? Those are fully grown, but those are unripe. Those are the berries that they use to make their gin, okay? These, on the other hand, these are the ones that they use to flavor your meats and brines, okay? So, is juniper safe to use? So for the most part, I've not seen anything in U.S. studies that show that it's unsafe unless that you are expecting. So in some cases, juniper tinctures, Jules, your snores, juniper tinctures have said to cause miscarriage, which will kind of lead me into some of the more mature medicinal uses for this this special herb or plant or whatever you want to call it, okay? But being related to the fact that it was linked to certain miscarriages and things, it led past chemists, or I guess you would call it like past doctors, because in all reality, herbalists were alchemists and doctors and healers. But I guess that it's been linked to where they tried to figure out how it could be a contraception. Well, guys, I don't know about y'all, but 2025 is going to be a weird year. And I feel like us folks that have went through this awakening process and have been assigned our roles, we're going to have this knowledge. So I'm kind of like blessed to have been able to get this knowledge, and I'm so excited to share it with you guys. But for us women, okay, I like this angle of the camera better. Let's go with this angle. I like it better. But women, what am I talking about the contraception thing? Okay, so there are studies that have been done on, I don't know if it's animals, or I'm assuming it's animals. I would hope it was not an actual woman. But they did tests and studies to see how a tonic, which is a alcoholic extraction of the fruit, they seen how it affected the implantation process in women. And it's said that it has progestogenic activity, which means that it causes our bodies to quit making progesterone, which is interesting. Now, there are certain doses, I guess you could say, that you could take the tincture in, which I am working on a couple of ebooks, which the one for women's health will have the dose for, how do I put this? If you were in a predicament where you needed to end or find the demise of a fetal growth in the abdominal cavity, I have the amount of days that it would take to resolve your issue if necessary, because no woman should have any man tell her that she can or cannot carry a baby, and that's just my opinion on that. Let's not get too political, folks. But moving on, Moving on to some other medicinal uses for the juniper. So it actually has a lot to do with antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, anti all kinds of things. Okay, so there's so many that I could touch on, but I'm only going to go with a couple, okay, because these are the most prominent in our day and time. Okay, so numero uno. Okay, so UTIs. I was telling you that the juniper, especially in the tincture, can have the effects for the microbial, antibacterial, whatever. But it helps with urinary tract infections. So it said that because of the astringency or antiseptic qualities of this plant, okay, that and the diuretic property as well, it can cause the body to diurese, make the kidneys work harder and more to help dispel the bacteria. And then alongside with the antiseptic properties, you're killing the bacteria along with dispelling it from the kidneys, which brings us to the risk, okay? So if you have any kind of kidney issues, kidney function issues, be very cautious with this. As I have told everyone in my videos from before to now and everything, please be very cautious whenever it comes to taking any kind of herbs. Try to ask your doctor or your physician before deciding on taking anything, just because I don't want anyone to harm themselves, because plants can be super, super healing, but it's very dangerous if you don't go to the right person, like an herbalist or someone that knows what they're talking about, because we don't want you to hurt yourself with the things that grow naturally because you don't know what you're doing, all right? So, going back to this, okay, excuse me, good grief. It's like the words can't come out or anything like that. But as for the use of the plant to help with the UTIs, it said that a decoction of juniper can help treat the infections. It's typically by boiling 1 teaspoon of the dried or crushed berries in 2/3 of a cup of water for about 5 to 10 minutes, straining. And it says you can drink this 1 to 3 times daily, just to be safe. Juniper should not be used for more than 1 to 2 weeks, okay? And that goes back to the tincture for the contraception purposes. Normally you don't typically use it for more than, 14 to 16 days, which then can lead you to the next of your luteal phase for your menstrual cycle and all that stuff. But next on the list is bronchitis, okay? I know you guys have heard the little tickle in my throat, but juniper is also an expectorant, okay? So I know if you guys are cannabis connoisseurs like myself, because of the medicinal properties of the cannabis plant, you know of certain things called terpenes, okay? So every plant has certain terpenes that are antiseptic, especially, okay? So one of the compounds in juniper is pinene, okay? It's also found in pine trees. And it can be a mildly stimulating, effect on the respiratory tissues, and it can cause an expectorant stimulation of those tissues, okay? So how do you consume it to help treat yourself? So, and I am referencing this book, okay? National Geographic book, okay? And it referenced here on page 243. You can either use it as an extract, an essential oil, or a capsule. Now, personally, I have not delved into making any kind of capsulations in a very, very long time. But I do see here that you can take the juniper with other herbs to possibly help with your urinary health. So ladies, if you guys have some issues with chronic UTIs, this might be something that you can look at holistically, and shoot, maybe even I can look at something holistically and try to form us something to be a unit, right? But as for the essential oil, it shows that you're not supposed to take the essential oil orally, but you can apply it to the skin, mixing 10 drops of the essential oil with 1 ounce of a carrier oil like vitamin E, okay? And remember, guys, your skin is your biggest organ. So whenever it says that you can use things topically, our bodies absorb everything. So whenever you use like that Voltaren gel for arthritis whenever you're older, the reason why it works is because our skin is a large organ that helps us absorb everything, okay? Now, let's see. I did have one more thing I wanted to touch on medicinally. Another way that the juniper can help is if you have chronic digestion issues, okay? So it said that it can be a carminative, antibacterial, and antispasmodic when it comes to GI issues. So if you have Crohn's, if you have chronic diarrhea, or constipation, because a carminative is like a laxative, okay? But if you have Crohn's, if you have, what is that one? Diverticulitis, because that's the inflammation of the intestinal tissue wall. But if you have that, it could cause colitis, which is then therefore an infection. Okay, so the antibacterial properties can help kill that gut bacteria, leading to less of that, maybe less of like bacterial growth in the gut. So remember, juniper is not supposed to be taken longer than 16 days at a time anyways. So if you go to a Western medicine doctor and you get antibiotics, they typically give you antibiotics for anywhere from 7 to 14 days. And I personally have never had to deal with colitis, and I rebuke that. I do not want any of that negative energy in my space, and I don't claim it. But what I can say is maybe this, I feel like these thumbs up on the screen are always Spirit's way of saying, hey, you're getting that information right. Because this is not alive, so this is so funny. But the antibacterial, this could be a holistic alternative, y'all. What I'm getting at is I really, really feel like all of these downloads, all of this knowledge, everything that I get to dispel to you, that I get to download, is going to bring us into the new world. I feel like this 2025 that we're going into, we get to rely more on nature. We're going to get to rely more on our environment to help heal ourselves. And I really hope that all of these things that I've been giving you guys has been so helpful. So please like and comment down below, because I love your interactions. Okay. Let's see. I wanted to tell you guys some of the ways that this is used in history, because I love history. So I love being able to, Oh! Spirit says I need to talk to you guys about the risks. Duh. Of course I do. So, I already kind of told you guys that this can be nephrotoxic or hard on your kidneys, especially if you're using it with a urinary tract infection, right? So you're trying to work on the kidneys to work it harder. So be careful with your kidneys and your kidney function. But another way that maybe your body is not handling it and can have a physical manifestation is something as simple as catharsis, and we know that in the medical community is diarrhea, okay, or convulsions, which is seizures, which is a more, a more serious thing, but that's another way that you can tell, obviously, by physical manifestation that herb was not for you, okay? So then you're allergic, don't take it, whatever, but tell your doctor before you start taking it. Or if you are taking it, please let your doctors know so they're not giving you something that can KO you. Okay. But let's go. So historically, let's dive in. U.S. histories first, okay? So, in Native American culture, okay, primarily the Great Plains Indians, it's said that they used to take the juniper tree or plant, and they would use it as a tea to help cure vomiting. And then there was a tribe up in Montana known as the Crow tribe that would use this after childbirth, okay, as a tea to help increase cleansing and healing properties. So that was interesting. I really thought that was cool. And it was also said that other than just medicinal with the Native American tribes, they did like to adorn themselves because the berries are pretty tart. Like, they're pretty hard, kind of like little beads or something. So after they're dried, little ASMR for you. They're pretty hard. They're pretty crunchy, like beads. And then the Greeks used to use these as medicine, and it was believed to have these around like different physical attributes, because we know the Greeks, like, they're working out in their masculinity, so they used to have things like the Olympics and things. So the Greeks used to have the juniper berries around to help increase. They believed that it helped increase your physical stamina, so I thought that was just kind of cool. I had to add that in there. And then the Romans actually used it as a cheap alternative to black pepper. They believed it as a domesticated black alternative to black pepper, which it didn't specify if it was mixed with any other herbs, because I know cumin is kind of spicy. I don't know. It didn't say, and it also didn't say if the berries were ripe or not. So, anti-hoosies. Now, going back to other parts of the world, I kind of touched at the beginning of the video that some European countries, like Northern European countries, use this, and it also looks like Scandinavia was one that was listed, and it looks like they used it in their meats and their wild game dishes, and even like sauerkraut and stuff, and flavor brines. So that's really cool. And if you're from Germany, sorry, I have a hair. But if you're from Germany, I think it's amazing how wholesome you guys' culture is over there. Like, but I would love so much, especially right now in this time of year, getting closer to Christmas. Oh, it would be so beautiful there right now. So if you're from Germany, I would love you to email me some pictures at lunarraywellness at gmail.com, because I can only imagine how beautiful it is. But going back to the downloads we got from Spirit and Source today, it also said, oh, it's about the gin. I was curious about the gin. I wanted to read about that again. So it was determined that it flavored gin, and it was derived in the Netherlands in the 17th century. And the word gin itself was derived from a French word, genever, and a Dutch word, genever. And they both mean juniper. So y'all, that's so cool. I don't know. I'm just a goober. I love to learn this stuff. I'm kind of like a nerd about nature. And like I told you guys the other day, I'm kind of like a hippie Miss Frizzle. I'm cool with that. A witchy hippie Miss Frizzle. But y'all, I had so much fun talking about this. I've had such a wonderful weekend. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend as well, and that your Monday today wasn't too terrible. I hope that you guys have been enjoying the content. If so, please like, share, and subscribe. I want to show the world all the beautiful, amazing things that nature has for us. And Miss Black Forager, if you ever see my videos, I would love to be able to partner with you or just learn from you. You have so much wisdom that I would love to learn. You are such, I don't even want to call it an idol because I don't want to act like I'm worshiping you, but I just really look up to you. You've been a positive role model for me, so thank you so much for that. So if you see this, I'm sending lots and lots of love to you, baby. But as for all of you guys out there, I didn't really channel any Bible verses today, but that's okay. Sometimes the Lord just wants me to educate. That's what Jesus Christ was, right? He was a teacher, okay? So he's teaching you guys through me, and that's all that matters. But I hope that you guys all are doing well, and that I hope after we say goodbye at the end of this video that you guys stay healthy and happy and safe, okay? So until next time, wow, the ending there. But I'm normal just like you guys, right? So until next time, guys, I love y'all. Peace out and stay safe.